Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy X boss fight video. This time, we're going up against Spherimorph. Now, this boss is unique, not only in the sense that he is a giant ball of water essentially, but he can also change his elemental alignments, which, if you're not prepared for it, can really throw you off, especially if you end up casting the wrong spell. Fortunately, there is a really simple way to work out what his current element is. Unfortunately, for Tidus, this means using one person as a human guinea pig. Now, I say that because in order to find out what his element is, you have to physically attack him. What this does is it will make Spherimorph counterattack with a spell of the element that he currently is. So if he's fire, then he'll cast fire, if he's ice, then he'll cast blizzard, etc, etc. But before we go ahead and start doing that, we're going to lay the groundwork for the rest of the fight. So we're going to open up with the traditional haste, but we're going to cast the first slot on Tidus, because we need him to cast it onto the other two as quick as possible. Okay, there's nothing for Yuna to do right now, so we're going to have her defend. That's one of his other moves. I say other moves, he only has two. Three if you include the counterattack. He has that, where he presses against one person, and the second one, where he goes for all three of you. They can cause problems if you don't stay on top of it, which is why you need to haste Yuna, which is what I'm doing now. Right, we don't know what element he is yet, so there's nothing Lulu can do, unless you're feeling really lucky. So we're just going to go ahead and defend to get back to Tidus, so we can cast a final haste on Lulu. And now, the groundwork is set. Okay, I know what I said about Tidus being a guinea pig, but considering it's Lulu's turn after Yuna, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Yuna test the element. Oh, he's casting water, which means I have to use Lulu to counter with Thundara. Now, luckily you'll find that with the layout of the spells, the opposite is always in the cross position. So currently he's water, the opposite is in cross and thunder, and it's the same with Fire and Blizzara, or Blizzard and Ice. So he countered with water, like I said, and we're going to use thunder. Naturally, if you do have access to the tier 2 spells, which you should really have by now, this spell becomes so much easier. This battle even, not this spell. Oh, Jesus, well done, Steve. Right. So as you saw a minute ago, he shifted his element. So we're going to have to use Tidus, again, to find out what it is. This time it's Blizzard. But first we're going to use Yuna to heal herself, because she took quite a hit there. And then to counter, we cast Fire. And this is pretty much it for the entire fight. This is all you're going to be doing, because there's nothing else to this fight. Okay, Blizzard, so we need to... Oh, hang on a minute. Yuna has a full overdrive. That means I can show you this. This is another way you can do this fight. It's actually a great way to take off a massive chunk of his health, because obviously he's going to be weak to one element at all times. And let's not forget that Yuna has two elemental summons, both of which use elemental overdrives. So currently he's weak to Blizzard. The opposite to Blizzard is Fire, which means I'm going to bring Ifrit out. Naturally, if he's just cast water, then you can bring out Ixion as well, but it does the same thing. It's basically using an Aeon that's the opposite of Spherimorph's current element. You can also do the same thing, I should point out, if Lulu has her overdrive, because then you can just use Spell Fury for the appropriate spell and cast it like 5 or 6 times over at once. Unfortunately, she doesn't have her overdrive right now, so I can't show you that. But anyway. Using Ifrit's summon, not summon, overdrive, sorry. Against a currently fire weak Spherimoprh. Should do a considerable amount of damage. Let's find out how much. Maybe I should change these to the short summons. Save so much time. And there you go, 5,000 health knocked off. Now, Spherimoprh has about 12,000 HP to begin with. So, all things considered, that's about 7,500 I've taken off so far. This, of course, is the downside to using the Aeon summon. I keep saying summon, it's an overdrive. This is the downside to using an Aeon's overdrive. There we go. In the sense that the boss gets a number of turns in before your next one. However, if the summons are at full health, then they're not going to die. Now, once you've dismissed the Aeons, yes, I'm using summons and Aeons interchangeably. Once you've dismissed the Aeon, you can just go back to doing what you were before. Find out what element he currently is, and then use Lulu to cast the opposite. Now, I should point out, there is no pattern to what he does. It's not like you can preempt what he will change into, because it's completely random. That said, however, it's not exactly a tricky fight, and you're not going to have any problems once you've laid the groundwork, which is casting haste on all characters. He really likes his blizzard. Hey, he changed it up. Okay, that hurt a little bit. But luckily, that's the last hit. And that's the end of Spherimorph. Not the most fantastic of explosions, really, is it? You should really work on that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.